Hello everyone and welcome. Crash here. This is RTA Motorsports. So today we're going to be jumping into Assetto Corsa with a really cool mod, something I've been looking for, trying to find one that actually works, and it's a CTS V. So I'm going to let you know how it performs, how it feels, and we'll just kind of compare it to my experiences with a real life one. So here we go.
Welcome to RTA Motorsports.
Alright, so first things first, I just want to go into my history with CTS Vs, especially of this generation. It's not the new 2016 and 2017 models that are out. We're talking, between 2009 and 2015 of just basically the sedans. I actually own this one here that you can see in this picture. This is my personal car, my daily driver. It's a 2013 CTS V Sedan. Pretty much has all the options, the ultra view sunroof. It has the Recaro racing seats and whatnot. Absolutely love the car. The car is a really great grand tour, really great daily driver. But, as anyone that actually owns a car that, is of sporty nature, you kind of want to be able to, especially if you sim race or you game and whatnot, you want to be able to drive your vehicle on these tracks that you can't actually go out and race in real life and do things that you would want to or dream to do with your vehicle or your dream vehicles that you can't really do in real life. So that's kind of the case with me in this CTS V. I always wanted to take it out to like Laguna Seca and all these, crazy tracks that I can't quite do in real life. I've been looking for a mod for Assetto Corsa because Assetto Corsa does not actually have this vehicle in the lineup, and I finally found one that works. Albeit it's kind of an older mod. It's about a year old since it was posted where I found it at. I don't exactly know the name of the person that actually created the mod. But I'm going to show you the website that I actually found it on. Okay, so I actually found it by going to this Facebook profile, and it's Assetto Corsa Car Mods, or at Assetto Corsa Car Mods. So you can see this is an older post. It's back from March 31st of 2015, and this is the one we're looking at right here. It's a rendition of the 2009. They didn't really change much at all. I think in my year I have two-piece rotors, which these, I don't think in 2009 they actually had an option for that. But really, essentially, the car is pretty much the same horsepower output. They came with the same, factory wheels and tires. So, of course, mine, as you saw, is the Black Diamond. So we're going to be driving around with this one. Mine did come with black wheels stock. So, it's not going to be completely accurate as far as color goes, but this is pretty darn close. So we're going to jump into this car here. And, if you want to pick it up yourself, what I had to do was I had to Google Assetto Corsa Car Mods because I've seen it discussed in a forum. And Assetto Corsa Car Mods, and then after that I put CTS V in Google, and it came up actually as one of the first things. And clicked on it, brought me right to this page. Now, it doesn't say who is actually the creator. And when you download this file here, it's a zip file. You have the car. And then you have, there's a link, like a shortcut link, that brings you right back to this Facebook page. So I don't know if they're the creators themselves, so I'm not exactly sure who to give credit to for the creation of this vehicle, because they did a really good job with it. Now, again, it's, I'm not responsible if anything happens to your computer or anything like that if you download this file. Definitely scan the file. I just came across this my first time. I've never spoken to these people, so I don't know how much I trust these files too much. I definitely did a virus scanner myself, and everything came out clean, but definitely do a virus scanner for yourself, and, of course, take the precautions that you would normally take whenever downloading any sort of files. I definitely trust a lot of mods from Race Department and AC mods. And this is not on there, so definitely take it into consideration when you're downloading it for yourself. All right, welcome everybody to the Nordschleife, the tour circuit, and here is my car. I mean, it's this is freaking crazy. This is absolutely awesome. This is kind of like my dream to actually be able to take my car here. And you can see, unlike other VR situations, we actually have a driver in there. And there seems to be like a piece of a helmet that's kind of stuck around his head. I think for replays you could actually see a helmet, but I think because of the constraints of maybe the model, you only have, I don't know. Let me not act like I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we have the CTS V here. That is awesome. And I could still bend down, check out the brakes. See, the rear rotors do have some marks on them. That is freaking awesome. And the rear pistons, the rear calipers, pretty much in position in how they look in real life. My room scale is not big enough for me to go to the front, but that is really trippy. Alright, so let's jump in and let's see how it feels. Now, the one thing is mine is an automatic and this is a manual. So you have that different sort of feeling to it, but all in all, stability-wise and traction-wise, let's see how it does. Now, it is a little bit weird. They did a good job on this model. They did a phenomenal job on this model, but you can see that the paint, my paint is really, really sparkly, and they kind of captured that, and in the replays it looks really good, the black diamond. It almost looks matte with sparkles on here. And I think they did that on purpose to really try to capture that high contrast sparkle in the replays. So, not quite exactly how the paint looks in real life, but pretty darn close. And the car, I would say, with my room scale, seems a little bit lower than my car does in real life. Well, a lot a bit lower. I'm not quite this tall in real life to be able to just have maybe 1.5 feet of room when I stand next to my car. So this car does seem to be a little bit lower down to the ground than my car does in real life. But overall, I'm really impressed. From sitting inside the car, I do gotta say the scale is spot on. Now, we do have the driver head on, and if I take away the driver, I only get the steering wheel. It feels very weird. One thing I did notice though is sometimes with the driver position, depending on how you like to be in your car, you do see the driver's face kind of coming into view in VR, and it was a little bit weird. So I actually had to tweak my driving position to be just slightly a little closer to the steering wheel than I would normally be in my car, but not by much. I think I have actually driven my car kind of like this before in this position when I was trying to, drive it sporty. So it's really not too bad. Everything is perfectly to scale. The ultra view looks great. You can see the back seats. They're kind of a different color, and they're a little bit flatter. I could tell that, with the back seats, maybe they didn't, model it completely, or they didn't exactly know what they would look like. Not really sure what the situation there was, but, they're there. That's kind of how they look, just maybe the wrong color. But the front seats look absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. I want to almost reach down. The front of that cushion there pulls forward on the base of the Recaros for your thigh support. I almost want to reach down and pull it forward. Even the parking brake button is in the right spot. So the stereo looks exactly the way it does. The clock, they really did a good job. The only other thing I could say is that the center of the gauge cluster, where the speedometer is not gray like that. They look like the RPM, and the other side where the fuel gauges are, and you see the boost pressure gauge down on the bottom right there for the supercharger. So, I'm not exactly sure how this car was when it shipped to other countries, but in our market here, the speedometer didn't look like that. It was also black with the white numbers. So, but besides that, I mean, you know what? I actually do see something else. The trim. There's trim that goes around the door panel here and around the dash. It looks like they just have a very thin line. Below that there would be a trim piece, depending on what you got, whether it's wood or simulated carbon fiber or whatnot, that wraps all the way around, and it would probably be about, I'll say, 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick. This is a very thin line. It doesn't affect the actual depth of the dash at all. I mean, the dash still looks the way it does in real life. It's just there's a trim piece that's missing. So, but besides all that, I mean, first impressions, when you sit down, you look around, you're like, I'm in my car. And it's really good. They even got the OnStar buttons correct. That is awesome. The Ultra View looks great. That's how it looks in real life. Exactly. All right, let's see how we do. Oh, yeah. I can tell you from personal experience, stock for stock, this is not what the car sounds like. Stock, actually, the CTS V is quite a quiet car. It's actually kind of a quite annoyingly quiet at that. If you completely take traction control off, this is kind of what the car feels like as far as its willingness to spin the tires and blast through the RPM range. Oh, this is cool. This is almost freaky. I really do get a sense that I'm actually in my car. Oh, getting a little swirly. Takes the bumps pretty good. You don't fully upset the car by going up on the curbs. Oh yeah, this is kind of how the car feels with the traction control fully off. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. It's really controllable. It really is. So I would say, you know, if you are running an aftermarket exhaust, you could make this car, you could make your CTS V sound very similar to this. I mean, I'm running stock exhaust with electronic cutouts just before the muffler, and my car with the cutouts open, oh my gosh. My car with the cutouts open sounds very similar to this. Maybe not as AMG like, you know, in the low RPM range. This almost reminds me of an AMG, very gurgly and deep. But you know, the popping noises that you get from when you take your foot off the accelerator and it's kind of coasting down, the backfiring, the pops, that's all still present. But this is pretty close with an aftermarket exhaust as to what you can make your car sound like. Definitely an awesome job for the mod team. Awesome job. This car just wants to slide everywhere. I don't know.
I've never, of course, driven my car on this track, or else there would be videos plastered all over my channel about it, but I don't know if my car would really be this lively as far as, you know, willingness to kick the rear end out, but it's sure making it fun. Now these cars came in manual form with something called no lift shift, so I'm going to try that up here on the upshift and see if it works. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's awesome. That actually works. We're hitting 140 miles an hour. Oh my gosh, my palms are already sweating. Now, as far as force feedback goes, it feels pretty similar, pretty darn similar. I have my Thrustmaster TX set in its game, and not in the game, but in its actual profile setting to about 75% as far as force feedback strength. And then in the game itself, in Assetto Corsa, I have it set to about 85%. And this is kind of what the soaks up these bumps awesomely. But this is kind of what the power steering feels like in that car, especially with StabiliTrak on competition. It tightens up the steering wheel. And this is pretty much what you can expect to feel. Oh. Oh, this is something else. I could care less about time right now. This is just so much fun. Even if you don't own CTS V, you should you should go after this mod, because this car is just such a handful, but it's very controllable. Almost makes you feel like you're a superhero. My car is an automatic, but the feeling of driving the car, I would say, is very similar. You know, of course, aside from, you know, it being manual, I'm talking more about handling and just experience of being in the vehicle. This is phenomenal. Definitely, if you know any other mods you want me to try and give you my feedback on, let me know in the comments below. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Let's see what we get here on this straight. 140, 150. 160. 170. All right. Wow. That was something else. Well, I hope you enjoyed. This was an amazing experience. Definitely leave a like and a comment down below. Subscribe for some more videos, especially with VR and the Vive and sim racing. So definitely leave some comments and suggestions down below. What other cars you want me to see, if there's any other mods you want me to check out. Again, this is Crash. This is RTA Motorsports. See you out on the track, and everyone, have a great day. Have a good one.